We are lucky enough to live in what I think is one of the best places for sailing on the entire planet. The Dart is a lovely river to explore, and in fact many boats the size of ours never venture any further. A few miles downstream from Galpton is one of the most picturesque coastal towns in the country, and beyond that, out to sea, you have as much of the south coast of England, the Channel, France, and indeed the rest of the world as you need to explore. We're just going for a little day sail, and from here we're spoiled for choice. Today we're going to head right, follow the coast down for a couple of miles to what is widely regarded as one of the finest beaches in England, Blackpool Sands. Heading out of the river, and the weather is not exactly what we had hoped for, but we do have some wind, there's no rain, and it's a relatively flat sea, just a little swell from the southwest to make things a little interesting. I had carefully calculated that the current running down the coast would have stopped by the time we got there, but as you can see from our gently downward curving, close-hauled path, we still had a bit of current underneath us, and luckily my mistake this time was taking us in the right direction. Out into the bay, and I did a quick radio check with Froward Point NCI. They are up on the top of that cliff in the old gun battery, and to the left of them you can see the Daymark Tower on the top of the hill. This is the same Daymark a day earlier when we walked up there. The entrance to Dartmouth Harbour is actually quite difficult to spot sometimes if you're coming straight across Lyme Bay or across the Channel. So this tower on the top of the hill was built in the days before GPS to give people something to aim at in good visibility. It's still a useful navigation point today. If you look right from the Daymark, you can see right down the coast to where we're going today. This is the NCI station at Froward Point looking out over Start Bay. It's not a bad place to spend your time volunteering, is it? So leaving the river entrance behind, we start to beat down the coast. Wind is around 12 knots. That light swell got a little bit bigger the further out we went, so we stayed quite close to the shore where it was a little more comfortable. I have one reef in the main and a full jib. We could shake out that reef and go a little bit faster, and if I were alone or on a longer passage, that is of course what I would have done. But for now, we're doing between 3 and 4 knots with virtually no heel, having a nice gentle day out on the boat. Now the Shrimper has a bit of a reputation for weather helm. The mainsail is actually quite large and powerful, with a centre of effort a good way back from the mast. So with all the sails up, as soon as the boat becomes fully powered and you begin to heel, the boat naturally turns into the wind and you find yourself correcting with the tiller a little to keep her on track. Now, don't get me wrong, a little bit of weather helm is a really good thing. You want the boat set up so that if you let go of the tiller, she will gently round up into the wind and just sit there. But if you're continually pulling the tiller towards you to correct for excessive weather helm, your rudder is creating more drag, acting as a brake and slowing you down. It might feel more exciting and faster with the boat leaning over and spray flying everywhere, but more often than not, your progress, particularly upwind, is slower. The shrimper has a fairly flat bottom with a central skeg and two little skegs on the sides, which keeps her right on track when she's flat. But the steel centre plate has no profile and you get little or no lift from it as you go through the water. It's basically stopping you from going sideways. So more heel means more leeway. The boat just slips downwind and you struggle to beat upwind effectively. Like most boats, flat is fast. Although this is a shrimper, so flat is actually just less slow, slightly. I find that Morning Vicar is perfectly balanced with one reef in the main and a full foresail. I actually prefer to sail her like this. She has just the right amount of weather helm, and in light or moderate winds she practically sails herself. We tack in front of the poetically named Dancing Beggars. I point out to my wife that these rocks are at least 7 metres underwater, even at the lowest tide, but the very fact that they're marked there on the chart makes her nervous, so we avoid them. We also avoided the Dragon's Tail and Shag Rock. I don't know how these things got named, but I really wish I'd been involved. One final tack and we can head into the bay. A quick turn upwind to drop the sails and put the engine on, and we can start to look for a place to anchor for lunch. Blackpool Sands is a really popular swimming beach, and you can see the yellow marker buoys there. We have to anchor outside that line. There isn't much swell, not close in, but to minimise it we head for the western end of the bay, where there's just a little bit of cover behind a small headland. This is the beautifully named Jenny Cole's Cove. We drop an anchor in about 6 metres. I have a 5 kilogram Bruce anchor with 6 metres of chain, about 20 metres of rode. It's a lovely sandy bed here and really easy to anchor in. On any nicer day you can see the bottom easily through the crystal clear water. The place is still gorgeous on a dull day like today. I've got all of the chain out and about 10 metres of rope. We're right on low tide, but it shouldn't rise more than about half a metre in the hour or so that we're going to be having lunch here. Time to put the kettle on and get lunch out. On the menu today are pasties that we bought from the shop before we got down to the boat. And because it's the middle of a British summertime, we've also got heart-warming tomato soup. There's plenty of time to finish our picnic, but we then retreated to the cabin for a few minutes when the drizzle arrived. The weather wasn't clearing up as we'd hoped. In fact, it was doing quite the opposite. Wind and swell were beginning to build, and some wet weather was obviously coming in from the southwest. We decided to head for home. I've been really pleased with using the iPad and Navionics this year. The DIY holders worked really well. I'm very pleased with it. I get about 5 hours battery life with the screen permanently on, and more obviously if you turn it off intermittently. When plugged into the boat's battery, it charges quite quickly even on full brightness, and my little 10-watt solar panels kept the whole system happy all summer. Back into the river, and being a small traditionally styled boat with tan sails and a bowsprit, we're used to being the eye candy on the river, but not when this thing is around. It's the Kingswear Castle paddle steamer, available for pleasure trips up and down the river. She looks gorgeous, and she sounds and smells just like a steam train. I don't know if Vicar gets jealous when I look at other boats, but I really like the look of that little 8-metre Saphir. Anyway, time to put our toys away and go and find a pub for the afternoon. Many thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time, when perhaps the sun will be out. Goodbye.